I'll work on my TikTok lives here. So if you're on TikTok, great, welcome. If you're on LinkedIn, welcome. This is going to be the state of healthcare staffing. I'm going to make predictions. I'm going to make bold predictions. I'm going to make sure the comments are live. I can see comments with a little bit of lag. Let's just make sure this is all live here. Okay, perfect. So if you're on TikTok, welcome. Again, my name is Aaron Littles. I am the president CEO of Streamline Consulting, which is a boutique consulting firm, primarily in the healthcare staffing space, helping companies scale. I've scaled several companies in the staffing space from 1.5 million in the low end for Gale Healthcare up to 400 million at our peak. And that was a fun 7 years. And so take a lot of those business practices and best practices to other verticals, other industries to help people scale their companies. And I have 3 methods that I just now coined last night, and I tried to get them all with the T's. So it's troops, tactics, and traction. Those 3 things. If we do those 3 things, that's what moves the needle. I'll dive into that later as we have more engagement. But for everyone that's joining this call, and it'll be reshared and posted for you to check out in your leisure. But it's all about the state of healthcare staffing today. Where's it going? It's a huge industry in the United States and in other countries. And the pandemic, if you can imagine, still has after lingering effects of where the staffing world is, from nurse staffing to locum tenens to allied staffing, all of the above. There's still a lot going on, and company business owners and private equity, everyone's trying to figure out where does this industry go from here. And I will be the first to say it'll be flat or it'll go down next year. I'm going to make that prediction because what's happening right now is everyone's throwing everything at the wall and it's not moving. The industry is still slow to grow, slow to get out of the funk that it's in post COVID. And so I don't think that's going to change anything for the next 12 to 18 more months. So 2026, if you're planning on retiring or selling your company, it's going to be a long process. It's going to be a long sales cycle. If you think you're going to, jump into staffing and make a lot of money immediately, it's going to be a long, long journey. Not saying that there's not opportunity, but it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard. It's going to be like it was before the pandemic when you had to call and fight and do sales and do great customer service and have great order fulfillment. And that'll be the way to really make a difference in the staffing industry. So again, I'm talking primarily about healthcare staffing. This is nurses, this is CNAs, this is aides, this is doctors, this is therapists like I staff. And so these verticals, these segments of healthcare staffing, a lot of the facility side want to get people to work full-time jobs. And then, of course, the clinicians still want flexibility. They want a 4-day work week. I know there's a lot going around about that. That's actually very possible in the healthcare space where you can work a 4-day work week and still actually get 40 hours in, and maybe even more than that if you work a couple doubles and whatnot. So you're going to see a lot of stagnation. There's going to be deals, but they're going to take a long time for some of these deals to come together. I'm not seeing anything happening fast. And this is across, can I sell my company? I want to sell to someone. Well, they're going to ask, are you powered by AI? Do you have, direct agreements? Do you have all those things in place to be successful as a staffing company? If you don't, and you're not getting great customers paying on time, it'll be very hard for you to sell that business. And so those are some of the things that are just transparent to me to see. Now, if you have some innovation in the space, if you have some AI that you're using, some proprietary technology, or you have an innovative and unique way of fulfilling orders and shifts, then there could be something there. But if you're not doing anything different, you're doing the same thing as everyone else, it will be a struggle. It will be hard to build a staffing company if you're not innovating in that space. I will say there's opportunity for a lot of innovation in the space. Thanks to all the people on TikTok jumping on. I'm liking this. I haven't done a TikTok live, but if you have business questions, this is a quick sidebar for the TikTok folks. If you have business questions, feel free to put them in the comments. I'm trying to read and see them in real time. We're talking specifically about healthcare staffing and the state of that economy, that industry. and how it's really been flat for the last year and a half. I think it's going to be flat or go down for the next year and a half. And because there's no evidence otherwise, there's not evidence to say this is going to explode and you can jump into the industry now and really do quite well. I think that there's opportunity, like I was saying, there's opportunity to grow and to innovate in the space. But if you're not going to come with something innovative, you're just going to be doing old school things and trying to compete in a very, very competitive space. So those are some of the things to be mindful of as you enter the staffing space. You look at the industry, but right now, just know that it's going to be a long road, a lot of calls, a lot of smiling, a lot of dialing, and you may not move the needle. So you've got to have traction and runway to do those kinds of things. And if you do, then you'll be able to grow. So let's see if there's any comments on TikTok. Let's see. Oh, I got to swipe. I'm new here, so I'm not swiping properly. I'm not seeing any comments just yet or questions. But okay, whoops, that's the wrong button. That's the camera. One new message. Here we go. Hi to everyone on TikTok. Hi to everyone still on LinkedIn that's joining. And so there's a lot going on TikTok here. All right, people are jumping in, jumping out. But I'm going to go back to the 3 T's of when you evaluate a business. So troops, tactics, traction. Those are the 3 T's that we want to make sure we look at as we get into business, launch businesses. If you have anything else on healthcare staffing, don't hesitate to ask. But Marcus Lemonis has his 3 Ps, and I'm pro Marcus Lemonis. I love it. I'm just giving the Aaron Little spin. The troops are critical. Even though it's the age of AI, I think you still have to do a good job as a leader, as a people grower, meaning are you pouring into your team personally, professionally? If people are having problems at home, they will have problems at the office. They will have problems in your company. So I think you have to lead in the whole person, the total person. Does that mean you have to get involved in everyone's nitty gritty of their lives? No, not necessarily, but having tools and resources available for them to seek counseling, seek help. I used to always give out my Dave Ramsey books. I've got several Dave Ramsey books on the bookshelf over there. Being able to help people in their marriage and say, hey, here's counseling that we have available, or here's what we have available from an employee resources perspective. If you don't take care of those troops, then you really won't have a company. If they're not the right troops, then if you can't coach them up, then you have to coach them out. If you don't do that, then it's your fault. And so it's like, if you're not helping grow people or mold them, or even say, hey, I'd like you as a person, but these are the KPIs. You're below the standard. We got to get you up to the standard. Then you're going to have problems, and eventually you're going to run out of money. You can't just drag around people that aren't going to do a good job for you forever and ever and ever. Especially if you give them 30-day plans, 60-day plans and whatnot to improve. I try to give people all the tools they need to improve. But if you're not doing those things, you can't expect people to grow or know what your expectations are. Don't expect people to read your mind. And so I think if you do those things, that'll help set expectations beforehand, before you hire people. I'm doing what I call pre-firing right now. So I'm hiring several recruiters in production roles. And I said, hey, how long is it going to take you to ramp up? And they say, oh, Aaron, I can ramp up in 8 weeks and start covering my salary. I'm like, perfect. 8 weeks in 1 day, we're going to have an awkward conversation. And we both have a chuckle on the interview, but that's kind of where it's I'd rather be transparent and realistic than, have to terminate someone out of the blue. Like there's no out of the blue. It's like, hey, are you on track or off track on your goals? But having the team, having the org chart to say, hey, who do I need where? Some people might have to wear 2 or 3 hats for a season, but then working towards getting all those roles filled to say, this is the org chart that I need. This is the type of person that I need. And then finding people part-time, schools, internships, colleges. I mean, there's all kinds of people that are semi-retired, people that want to be semi-retired, stay-at-home moms, stay-at-home dads. There's all these people that can do some fractional work for you. So I think you can find that team. That's where that first T comes into place. Then the tactics. The tactics are critical. This is all your SOPs. This is how you do what it is at whatever you do. Is it a services business? Is it a product business? How do you fill an order? What is your sales process? What's your customer service process? By the end of working with me or talking to me or listening to me, you're going to have, a procedure, and it can be one page. It can be a one-page SOP, or a, smart guide on how you do whatever that one thing is. Go ahead and do it. Just have one guide put together, one page, and so you can. But here's the 10 things that we do, and here's the 10 things that you want to reference, so that you know how to do everything. We have a lot of people coming in and out. Let me see if there's any questions. Let's see. We can do a poll. Let's see. That's me. Hold on a second. Oh, we don't have enough people yet. I need more coins and likes and hearts and all that stuff to get to open up a poll. All right, lightning Q&A. So let's see if we can do a hearts here. Who's ever had to fire someone, or who's ever been fired? Anyone can come up, do a comment or like or a heart for that if you've ever fired or been fired. Let's see if anyone responds. People are in and out so fast. I don't know. All right. Well, if you ever fired or been fired, I've never had the opportunity to be fired, I guess. I've only had a couple of different jobs in my lifetime. I've stayed at places for a while, but I've had to fire people, and that's not been pleasant. But I think there's a better way to do it. And the way to do it is to not have to do it at all, as people just know that they haven't met the standard and they resign. And I know it's awkward to say it like that, but if you have the high performance goals and it's all clear, and then we're tracking and checking in weekly and monthly and KPIs and meetings, like, oh, Aaron, I'm way behind. I know you're probably going to have to let me go. So can you give me 2 weeks? I say, sure. So no one's gotten fired, but it's like, well, that's kind of how that can be managed pretty fast. And making sure that you have that KPIs, those performance evaluation expectations set in place, it actually makes it a lot easier. When you have an SOP and you have procedures, going back to our tactics, and you have all those things in place, then it really makes the whole company run smoother. Because once you come in, a new hire, hey, here's your smart pack. Boom, I can give you a packet. And now you can learn that packet. You don't have to memorize it, actually. But it's like some of the things that you do repetitively, you'll want to know how to just do it, so you don't have to go back and check in and look at it again over and over. But so you'll memorize things just by rote memorization. The purpose is, though, if there's ever a question, you can refer back to the one-page procedures. If you can refer back to procedures and you can read and you can learn, I can hire you, I can work with you, I can train you to say, hey, here's the procedure, here's what I expect you to do, here's how to do it with excellence, here's a picture of what excellence looks like, and now you have a great performing team with great procedures. So that's a really important piece of this, is that middle T is the tactics. And it's not overnight, but it can be, every core function in your company should have a one-page procedure or SOP on how you do business. And if you do that well, you can hold your team to it, and it provides so much clarity across the whole organization. When someone does it wrong, it's like, that's not what the procedure says. Now we can have a meeting to say, hey, do we need to modify the procedure, or did you do it the wrong way? And we need to have that meeting. I'm okay having that meeting once a week, once a day. If something's broken and it's not working right, let's get to a point where it's the right procedure, and let's modify it and tweak it over time, and then let it sit for a little bit and see if we get customer feedback, and not just our own 2 cents. I want to hear from my customers, and they help me provide a beautiful feedback procedure, because they say, Aaron, I like working with you, but I really don't like this. Oh, let me see if I can fix that. And of course, I'm in charge. I'm the president. We can fix it. So the last 3 is the traction. This is not to be confused with the book Traction, which I love, actually. It's a good book, Gino Wickman. But it's about movement. How do you execute? How do you actually go out and make sure someone is boots in the ground, or virtual on the ground, or doing whatever they do to get sales? How do we move the ball forward? What are you doing to push, and being as proactive as possible? It's almost like that secret sauce, okay? And I know I'm pro procedure and I'm pro process, but at some point you got to have a little bit of secret sauce to the whole equation, and say, here's how we really go above. Chick-fil-A is Chick-fil-A, but they're Chick-fil-A. How do you get that Chick-fil-A my pleasure in your business? What's that thing that you have? That's the traction piece. And once you find that, it takes time to find that, but once you find it, that's where you can really go to the next level with your delivery on getting people the best quality chicken sandwich and the fastest amount of speed at a pretty good price, right? So I think if you can find that last piece of traction to move the needle for your business, is it our, hey, we answer every email within an hour. Oh shoot, that's a lot of work, Aaron. Well, if you do it, hey, you have a name for yourself. Our pizza's delivered in 30 minutes or less. Oh shoot, these are, so you know what I'm going with this, right? Those are all ways that people have differentiated in the past. You can be a differentiator like that too for your business. What is it though that you can commit to with excellence that will stand apart, that your clients don't do, your competitors don't do? Can you guarantee something? What can you guarantee? And it's, hey, put your money where your mouth is. And honestly, you'll break your guarantee twice. And then you'll say, okay, Aaron was right. We got to go figure out procedures to not do that again, because we don't like giving back money or giving away money. So put your money where your mouth is and find some way to guarantee what you're going to offer, whatever that thing is. And those are simple wins, because most people are just people saying, hey, I want I'll pay the price, but I want to have a good product that lasts and doesn't just break and fall apart in 2 minutes, or your people are going to treat me well and do a good job, and we have no problems, and it's going to be a good exchange of business. And then you hear a referral. And this is how another book on the shelf is Raving Fans. If there's things that you can do to go above and beyond, I'd rather you be crazy and fanatical about your traction part of the tease and say, well, I texted them before the event. I texted them during the event and said, hey, how's everything going? I took 1,000 pictures. And then after the event, I called them and said, did you have a good time? I want to make sure. I'm thinking of an event. One of my daughters turned 10. And so we went to iFly. And so it was a great place. It was a good time. And I'll have to post videos about me trying to float in the air. But it was a pretty good process. I mean, it was a fun time. We hung out and we got the training, got jumpsuits, and got media coming back, emailed me, and there was a problem with my email. They sent it back, and oh, that was fantastic. Everyone should go do iFly once, or go to jump school and things like that. And that would have been a great 4.5, 5-star experience, right? I think for them, there's probably 4 or 5 things they could do differently as part of their process that they didn't do. So as an example, we came out of the tube and we had all done it. Everyone had a great time, but we walked past the photo spot and then we took off our jumpsuits. Oh, shoot. And we did not put the suits back on to take the photo as a group with our suits on. That would have been kind of a cool thing. I don't know if it's a procedure thing, but it's like, hey, okay, now that we finished the jump, everyone go here, click, 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 2 photos, then take off the jumpsuits. It would have taken 13 more seconds. But we would have had that lifetime memory. So it's one of those things that you have to just think about. What is your process? What are your customers wanting? I have 100 individual photos, but I don't have the one group photo with everyone in the jumpsuit. Minor little thing, but you guys get what I'm saying about how do you create that little bit of special sauce for your company. It doesn't have to be big. That wasn't even a cost. It didn't cost anything to do that. It would have been actually included in whatever they're already doing, right? So you can find some of these little things that are a little bit of pepper or salt on your perfectly baked chicken breast as a differentiator. 2 pickles. That's Chick-fil-A again. So I went on and on. I'm not seeing any specific questions. We had a lot of fun. I've got to figure out my TikTok. I've got to figure out my LinkedIn. But I want to add value. We're going to be doing a lot of posts all through September talking about the state of healthcare staffing, the state of staffing in general, technology, AI. I've had a chance to do a lot of those things in a lot of different areas, spent a lot of money, invested a lot of money, which simply means I lost it by trying things. And so some of those experiences I can give back and say, hey, here's what I learned. Here's what worked. Here's what didn't work. Here's what I would do differently if you gave me another $100,000 to go and try to build an AI recruiter or an AI insert whatever. And so I want to add value. I want to help you grow your business. I want to help you scale and get to that next level. So if you have questions, comments, feedback, like, tag, comment, follow, share. And that's it for today. I don't know how to stop this live, so it might take me a few minutes of smiling on TikTok, but I'm going to figure it out. Otherwise, y'all have a great day.